for today's cup of coffee. Kid says he's just wanting to hear me rant.
I'm going to listen.
And it's probably
I got a
gonna
zombie
end up
call
that way.
under my tongue.
He has got we thought it was
I got the suds.
allergies, but now we think he's got some other kind of crud again.
I think it's karma.
It's probably. So
I hope you're all right.
that way. Don't peg out the mic.
Nah, peg out the mic.
Don't peg out the mic. God help. Anyhow.
Paradankness.
It is paradise.
Yeah,
and she
pretty
will
much.
be eternally grateful to you for that term. I love that term. This comes from Daily Mail by Daisy Graham Brown. This was April the 6th of 2023. I started to make this a what the fuck file, but it didn't quite fall into that category.
Mm-hmm.
Other people may think that it is. So
It depends on what it is.
I have read it, and it's to the point that it made my hair hurt. It really did.
Is it that one that you read to me?
Uh-huh.
You read a little bit of it.
So here we go. Trigger warnings have been given to university students reading Dracula to prepare them for its, quote, descriptions of spiders and other insects, unquote. I wish to God that this was something that was out of The Onion or Weekly World News, but this, unfortunately, is the world that we're trying to survive at this moment.
I can see giving a trigger warning for a kid who's reading it. You know? A kid. Someone who's like in their teens, their angsty teens.
Not even. As far as Bram Stoker, this was, we'll go into this. I'm going to get ahead of myself if I don't stop now. On top of content warnings for creepy crawlies, academics...
I wanted to hear what you were saying.
I'll get there. Academics at the University of Greenwich helpfully tell readers to expect the supernatural in Bram Stoker's classic gothic horror about a Transylvanian vampire.
Trigger.
Published in 1897, the novel is one of the most famous works of English literature ever written and has been studied at universities across the world for decades. But those studying for English degrees at Greenwich are now warned about the misogyny in Stoker's text, which contains vampire brides as well as scenes of the titular. That's not a word I use that much. Titular.
What is that?
Count Dracula attacking the female characters,
Okay.
Mina and Lucy. I'm not going to go look for a dictionary. You can Google search yourself.
I get it.
The character of Renfield, an asylum inmate, busies himself with eating spiders, insects, and birds, which may account for the university's trigger warning of animal abuse. Documents
They're depicting a man who is... What was... He's in an asylum.
Yeah.
He's going to do some fucked up shit like that.
Yeah. Documents from Greenwich's English department.
Hold up. If they're in college, they should have the maturity enough to not have to have a trigger warning for that.
That's going to be part of the rant here at the end of this. Documents from Greenwich's English department advise readers that a Gothic literature model is, quote, by its nature, contains elements that students might find disturbing, end quote.
It's supposed to be disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
To anyone in general.
The content warning specific to Dracula states, quote, violence, death, murder, child abduction and death, the depictions of mental illness, misogyny, the supernatural, imprisonment, references to suicide, animal abuse, descriptions of spiders and other insects, end quote. Okay, that's the whole front page of a newspaper anywhere.
Since when was there a need for a trigger warning on horror?
We're getting to all that. We really are.
But that's the whole thing of genre.
We're getting there. It is thought that similar warnings were introduced for other texts studied at Greenwich in 2021 at the request of students, is how it should have been. Professor Dennis Hayes, an education expert at the University of Derby, told the Daily Telegraph, quote, "It is time to stop this nonsense and recognize that students are adults and can actually enjoy horror stories. Will nursery rhymes need trigger warnings next? Students studying early childhood at the university might have to be warned about the horrors of Little Miss Muffet and the Eensy Weensy Spider? Trigger warnings seem innocuous, but they create a climate in universities in which quite normal things are seen as anxiety-making," end quote. Thank God this man has got some sense.
Yes.
The professor explained that the frequent use of trigger warnings can make students feel that going to university is a, quote, "threatening and stressful experience," end quote. Well, hell yes, that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
My God. He added, quote, "But universities with their exaggerated concern with well-being, mental health, and being safe overprotect and mollycoddle students. This mollycoddling is there at every level," end quote. Now, we're going to unpack this. So, within this, yes, anything as far as being gothic in nature, you have that element of dark, of mystery, of different things that go into that realm of dark. That's the whole point. And this shit, as far as these people being that damn delicate, makes me want to go back into full-blown goth mode and walk around someplace and dare somebody to look at me.
Yeah. That's when you do. Seriously, it's about time that you do.
I will tell you this, that
it's about time that anyone who wants to do what they want to do, it's about damn time that they do that.
Area, I mean, by God,
especially in our areas.
If you want to, well, in our area, people, for the most part, leave people the hell alone. But if somebody is doing something stupid and or bizarre, they're going to look at them.
Yeah.
You know, because that's just human nature. But as far as when you get into true goth culture, which these people that we're talking about, there's no way that they could ever fathom true goth culture. And it's a matter of how deep do you want to go into it. Even as far as the difference between the psychic and the sanguineous vampirism. Now, let's face it, that's out there if you really want to go to that depth.
Hell, do they really want to know what went down in the goth clubs?
That's what I'm saying. They don't. They really don't. What the hell would these people even do with that scene from Blade where they were having the rave?
They probably never watched Blade.
Now, this is just absolutely, this shit has to stop. I'm like this professor, because this has gotten ridiculous. And as I was researching this, because as I am prone to do on things, because I go down rabbit holes, and there is something that is called IPD. When I was in school, it was just simply called Arrested Development. But if you type in that, you're going to get the TV show. And let's face it, there's a lot of terminology that has changed since I was in college 150 years ago. I get that. And because they have to make up terms so that insurance will pay for this shit.
Right.
That's what it's all about. But IPD, according to Wikipedia, no, I'm not going to include the link on that. Y'all can Google search on that one too. Stands for Immature Personality Disorder. Yeah. He's got somebody who's just immature.
Yeah, pretty much.
But there is not classical, there is professional definition, psychological definition for that. And it's a type of personality disorder that is characterized by lack of emotional development, low tolerance of stress and anxiety, inability to accept personal responsibility, and reliance on age-inappropriate defense mechanisms. Now, this is what we're seeing right here. The disorder, it says, has been, but it is gaining prominence in the 21st century because it's in epidemic proportions.
Yeah.
A study in Denmark found that together, the other types constituted 2.4% of all personality disorder diagnoses. So this goes in with borderline personality diagnosis and everything. And it says, while borderline is the most common personality disorder among those who commit unaliving self-harm, I have to say that, the overall rate...
Non-threatening self-harm.
The overall rate of deliberate self-harm is highest amongst those with immature personality disorder. It has been noted for displaying an absence of mental disability and demonstrating ineffectual responses to social, psychological, and physical demands. So, what it is, these people are not stupid. They do not have an intellectual disability.
Yeah.
They're children in adult bodies.
Yeah.
They don't want to take responsibility. None of this stuff. But what we're doing, this professor is right as far as the mollycoddling. That makes it worse.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Because as somebody who has worked professionally as mental health counselor, who deals with this on a daily basis with various and sundry peoples in our family, everybody's got their something. Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, as far as since I was 12 years old, it's the depression. All right. You can't lay in the bed all the time. You have responsibilities. Even on the days that you can't function, then that's your responsibility to call somebody and say, hey, I'm just really not doing well today. And then it's a matter of, okay, are my meds working? Do I need to take this today? Have I done something that's made it get worse? That's my responsibility. It's not the rest of the world's responsibility to kowtow to me because that I've got some kind of an issue.
Yeah.
What? You're looking at me funny. It's like she's on a tear.
Nah, I'm just listening. I'm finding it hilarious. I like it.
But what we're doing now is a matter of we're making the condition worse. You don't give in to somebody's mental health issues because that can become very dangerous. You don't enable people.
No, you don't.
It's a matter of training them, teaching them the life skills, trying to figure out why it is that they have the condition that they do. With depression, a lot of times it's circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That can cause it to be worse. Well, the world's not going to change for me, so it's a matter of me changing the way that I view the world.
Right.
And deal with it.
Yeah.
But as far as everybody else, what's the word I'm looking for? I am truly, it makes my hair hurt. And I am at a loss of words on some of this stuff. I think that they're basically... I wish I could
help you on that.
Right now, we have the reptilians, that they are weaponizing different groups of peoples.
Well, they've been doing that for a while.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And so you've got these adults that are acting like petulant children. And with this attitude, I'll show you, I'll hurt me. Well, it's not stopped at that. It is, I will hurt you. Period. You're not doing what I want you to do, so therefore I'm going to break your shit. It's sort of like in the movie, what was it, Pet Sematary, where you had that kid that was running around slashing people's ankles. Yeah. Yeah, that's what the little kid did. He did do that. You have to go back and watch it.
I never really
It was horrifying. It was, because it's one of those you could sort of feel it. It was like, ugh.
I hate it. I hate it when, like, there's a scene in any horror movie where a character gets their, like, tendons cut on their...
Mm-hmm.
On
That's
their
what
ankle.
it was.
That's
Yes,
like, ooh.
It was the Achilles tendon.
Yeah, the Achilles tendon.
Like, yeah.
Achilles tendon. Ugh.
It makes me squirm.
Yeah, it really does.
But that doesn't mean I expect every copy of Pet Cemetery to be taken out and burned
No, you
because it
just
makes
throw
me
it
uncomfortable.
away.
Right. Right. So this is part of the spiritual and psychological warfare and the war that is going on. That people with mental health issues are being weaponized instead of getting them the treatment that they need so that they can go on and be, mature, responsible members of society. To have them in that state of childishness,
Yeah.
And they've been doing that for a long time, as far as that it was dangerous almost for parents to discipline their children in some areas.
Oh yeah, yeah. Some parents really could get in trouble
Yeah.
for like the physical.
There's a difference between discipline and abuse.
Yeah. Very much so.
That's just like I saw footage the other day where this, I think he was in high school, middle school, or whatever. He was an older teacher, as evidenced by the fact that the man had white hair, and that there was a student that was a head taller than this guy. And that the teacher apparently had taken the cell phone, because you're not supposed to have those damn things out in class.
Yeah.
So the student physically attacked him, hit the man in the face.
That's just not right.
No, it's not right.
Like, seriously. Even as a kid, I got pissed when, like, teachers would take stuff from me. But, like, especially if I didn't get it back, because that had happened on multiple occasions. But, like, I didn't do anything.
Well,
Because it's like, what's the point? Like, there is no point of, like, fighting.
Well, they are actually supposed to return. If it's a personal item, they're supposed to return that at the end of the day.
Nah, I never got that Betty Boop keychain back.
Well, then you should have said something to me about that, the teacher. She probably forgot it.
I said something to her about it.
No, it was a matter of telling parent. Because parent would have, it's like, hey, if you got kids, whatever. More likely, did you have it out in class,
as I was
screwing with
saying,
it? Did you have it out in class when you weren't supposed to?
no, I was at lunch.
Okay. So.
And she came by and took it from me.
Well, And you lived.
Yeah.
Did live.
But, like, seriously, if it's something like a cell phone, bruh.
Shouldn't have those in school anyhow.
Well, I don't agree with that, but I think they should be allowed to have them at school. I just don't think they should be allowed to bring them into the classrooms.
Well, and that is a really hard call, because if it is if it is a teacher that is doing some kind of stupid shit, then yes, they do need to be recorded.
Well, that's when
doing some of the
security
things.
cameras should be in each classroom.
I mean, like I said, this is uncharted territory. Even as far as society as a whole. There has to be, we're walking a fine line between Orwell's 1984 and, Mad Max. We really are,
Yeah.
And there are no easy answers on some of this stuff. That's one of the reasons you were homeschooled.
I have no problem with students fighting back when it's needed, when necessary.
As far as like with a teacher?
Yeah.
Oh no. That's where you fight legally. if a teacher does something, lays hands on a student.
Yeah, but if the teacher is like fighting with the student and like being physically aggressive.
No, this teacher was not.
With this student, I know that, but I'm just saying.
Right. No, that's absolute. That's an assault charge, especially against a juvenile.
Student should be allowed to fight back.
Well, that's where, like I said, unless they're doing massive harm.
I saw a video of this one like employee at some school, old guy, whatever, slammed this one girl's head into the wall, basically.
Well, and I think part of that is where people are so frustrated, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to deal with it. I get that. And then you
One of
do,
them said, like, "Oh, I bet that made you feel real powerful doing that to her."
what
And
did
I
she,
honestly, I was on their side.
yeah, but what had the girl done?
I don't give a
There's
damn.
always two sides to it. There's always two sides to it. And it's a matter of not having a knee jerk reaction. You sit there and you go, okay, this is what appears to have happened. What's the real story
Either
behind
way,
this?
shouldn't have happened. Should
Well,
not have happened.
there's a lot of things that shouldn't, but they do. And it's what you deal, how you choose to deal with it. But with this arrested development, they're not dealing with anything. And it's going to cause worse mental health problems. I mean, that's what concerns me because hell, we've got people in their 30s and the 40s and older than that that are still displaying this type of behavior. We call them Karens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they want everything their way. It doesn't matter if somebody else's rights, thoughts, whatever be damned. They're going to sit there and throw a temper tantrum, and that's exactly what it is if they don't get their way.
Well, I think a lot of that is also, like, you look at the parents on that too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, seriously, turn the scope on the parents a little bit on that one. Because it's like, during my generation was the ones that we're like the zillennials.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ones that are born in the 90s up to, like, 2000. Well, yeah, we still had, like, we're able to go outside and such like that, but we were basically, like, we had full-on access to TV and computers and stuff like that.
Well, yes and
After a
no.
certain point.
And that's one of those that I did try to limit you,
I'm not saying me,
but children
but I'm
being
saying there are
children,
ones out there.
sure. Sure, that's not new. Since TV came out, it became a very convenient babysitter. Plop a kid in front of a TV while parent did whatever, and then it got to where parents weren't paying attention to what was being shown,
Yeah.
and it's like they would send them to school. Then they wouldn't, maybe talk to them for 5 minutes. Then everybody sits and plops in front of the TV instead of them actually getting to interact with each other.
And they're asking, and kids are complaining that they're constantly bored now in schools and stuff like that.
Boredom is a choice.
No.
Yes, if you're creative enough, you can prevent from being bored.
They have literally done everything that would have entertained us as kids. Like, my generation, like, stuff I was excited about in schools. They don't get excited about it.
Well, and I think part
Like,
of
seriously, it just does not impress them, and I think that is due to the tech.
that, yeah, you're right. That's what I was going to say. I think a
Because they
lot
have
of
this newer generation has just constantly had the technology in which has overloaded their systems completely from day one.
Well, and I
The
think,
fucking iPad babies, that
yeah,
pisses me off. It's like, do not give your child a phone or
right,
an iPad until they are of a certain age.
yeah,
Don't even
because
let them fucking touch it.
So
You
many
can teach them how to
studies,
use it because they will need to know that at some point.
yeah, so many studies that shows how it is screwing with people's neural pathways, and especially small children. Oh my God, we have no clue. No wonder they don't know what's going on. And that constant hit of dopamine, or which I think was either dopamine or serotonin, can't remember which one it was right now, as far as scrolling through, which is why that people can't, the retention span has gotten stupid.
Yeah.
A lot of times people do not have the ability to sit and think deeply. It is this, they don't want to do. They want to be constantly entertained.
Yes. That's the thing. And it's like, what would they be? Do they consider entertaining? Oh, it's them in front of a screen, literally.
Well, I think that part of that has to do is that attention seeking. It truly is. And some of them didn't get attention. Some of them got too much attention. Yeah. And it was just like, and I love Markiplier. I do. But we were watching some of his earlier, like several years ago, videos, and I'm like, my God. It's like, just bring it
He's
down a few.
bombastic.
I mean, it was just crazy. And to sit and listen to that for very long. And I told Kid, I said, man, I'm going to have to, we're going to have to find some of his newer stuff. But it seems like all the stuff is dank or perverse. And
Or some other,
yeah,
grossness.
it is. And
Or
so
stupidity altogether.
well, this is what happens when you have children. That's the whole point. You have to teach them. This is acceptable. This is not acceptable. If you do this, you're going to have these consequences. Now, that's true. If you go out, and it's one of those I always told the kids, you either learn to control your behavior or you will be placed in an environment where your behavior is controlled. That's the way this is going for the most part. That's how it used to work. But you can't even say that now because people are being rewarded for bad behavior. That concerns me. Those of us that understand that reality still is, yeah. But when you're putting a fucking trigger warning on Bram Stoker's Dracula, or Bram Stoker, not Stroker. I'm escalated. Can you tell? I'm escalated. Now, there's a problem. Not like people didn't know this already. It was just, this was an opportunity for me to rant. Like I said, this wasn't even a what the fuck file. This was a, my God, help us. This is a SOS to God type story.
I'm not gonna lie, to an extent, I fall into that, realm of immature person, but, nah. Quite a few of my generation is waking up to becoming mature.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, it's a form of weakness. It truly is. And I see it now. One of my favorite movies is 13th Warrior. And one of my favorite lines is when the Viking throws Antonio Banderas's character this sword. And Banderas's character says, I cannot lift this. And the Viking looked at him and he said, grow stronger.
Yep.
And that line has got me through some really, really hard times. Yeah. And it's like, I hope, I did read a story that they were talking about that Gen Z or whatever, with some of the psychological speak and stuff like that they were about over it because they realized that all it's doing is making people rude and mean and hateful and narcissistic. It's all about them, their feelings, their whatever.
Yeah.
They do not live in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So.
That's exactly it. And I think it's just a result of this being a result of our generation, seriously.
It's the reptilians. This has been going on. This is part of the agenda.
With this new, all this tech. Seriously, this is just par for the course of. This was bound to happen at some point.
We haven't even talked about the frequencies that these devices put out.
Oh, they put out some shit frequencies.
Yeah, we'll have to save that one for another day.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, kid.
My thoughts are worn out. That hamster is about gone.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Like I said, this one made my hair hurt. So if you all, as far as somebody puts a internet picture of Mountain Goth in full regalia, you'll know that I had enough.
Yeah.
Like I said, around here, people are not that bad because it is still a very much rural community. We
Yeah.
still have to deal with real life.
No, they'll be like, he's just a little odd.
Nobody cares.
They're a little odd, but they're all right.
No, I mean, as far as this throwing fits and stuff like that.
Oh, no, no one does.
Around here, somebody will sit there and tell you to sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
If words don't work, other methods will be implied. Applied, not implied, applied. So, if you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, if you have specific methods of spiritual warfare that you would like to share, that would be great. You can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com, and that'll be in the description box, as will the link to the article, Psalm 91. That's one of your main spiritual warfare prayers.
Yeah. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Don't forget to press that. What was it? What was the rest of it?
I don't know. If you like it, like it.
Yeah.
If you want to share it, share it.
Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Click that notification button for notifications of our daily uploads.
Tell others if they want to join in the bizarreness.
Yeah.
The pirate radio here with the 2.5 mile radius.
Join us.
Know that you're loved.
Yeah.
Let us pray one for another, because that is what's going to get us all through, and pray for those that are deceived for real, because these people have been brainwashed. And it's piteous, but you can't allow the piteousness to hurt you and your family.
Yeah.
So, Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.